All right, another episode of Conversate After Dark. Tay, what's up with you?
Everything's great with me. What's going on with you?
It's all good. It's all good. Tell people they can find us.
You can find us at Conversate After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD, the podcast at gmail.com.
That's right. Go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com. Listen to past episodes. Tay, let's do the icebreaker.
All right. During sex, do you communicate primarily using your words or your body?
Um, so people who watch the show and people who know me personally know that I talk a lot. So the obvious answer is my words. Nothing changes. But it kind of works in tandem though. Like you can't just be talking shit and then you ain't doing nothing with it. And because unless you're like some like lovey-dovey romantic dude that, oh, I love you and all this old shit. But nah, I'm kind of like Wesley Pipes. It's just not as annoying. If you know who Wesley Pipes is, you a freak.
Oh, Lord.
I remember people used to say Wesley Pipes would mess up the whole video.
Yes.
Yeah, he was kind of obnoxious with it though.
Yes, very annoying. Yes.
I remember he was in a scene with Cinnamon, and like she had enough of it, and she turned around and kind of like was just like, "Hey, dude, like shut the hell up and just do what you're supposed to do." That's not what she said, but you know,
Right.
yeah. But sometimes he'd be funny though. But sometimes you're like, "All right, dog, shut up, bro. Like, you talk too much." So like, if Wesley Pipes is on like a 10, I'm probably like a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what about you? I already know because let me stop. I want you to get mad.
No, what? What you about to say?
Like, you don't talk in real life, so I know you ain't talking in bed.
That's not necessarily true. Um, I think I do both. And when they say communicate with your body, I mean, I took it to mean like if you want a different position or you want to move a certain way, instead of saying it, you may use your body to move or
That's
whatever.
how you took it.
That's how I took it. I mean, but I guess it's open to interpretation.
Okay, if that's the case, then yeah, I mean, you kind of just move, right? You know,
Hmm.
especially as a guy, because normally as a guy, you're in the lead, so like it still is in tandem though. So like if I'm on top and then like if I want you to get on top, you know, I'm gonna lay on my back and I'm probably gonna like pull you or whatever, and you're gonna know what I'm asking for. Sometimes you like turn around, let me hit it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, yeah.
I will say I think I do communicate mostly with my body, but I agree you kind of need both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. You kind of need both. Like, has somebody ever talked too much and it turned you off?
Yes. Yes. And then I've had the non-talker that or the non even verbal anything. That's a turn off too.
They just was just fucking and didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
How's that fun?
He said he was just in the moment. He was just enjoying the moment. He was in his head. I was like, yeah, that's not gonna work for me. Because the noises, the moans, the talking, depending on how what the what's said and how it's said, that's my thing. So I can't be with somebody who just doesn't do anything.
Well, so he was just like mute.
Pretty much.
That's
Pretty
crazy.
much. I mean, when he wanted to change positions and stuff, he would say it. But for the most part, it was quiet. I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling this.
Nah, because I would think like they're not enjoying it.
That's what I was thinking. But he said he was, but he was just in his that was just him. He's just when he's into it, he's in his head and he's enjoying it and yeah, I
Okay.
don't know.
So okay, so what spin out question. If you're with a guy and you guys have been doing it a certain way, right? Like y'all kind of, because I think regardless, people say like you try to keep it fresh, right? But like y'all have like some people you have like a routine, right? Y'all kind of do what you do, you know what each other likes, and unless you like add something like crazy, it's easy to get into a routine.
Mm-hmm.
But what if you with, you know, your guy, and then all of a sudden the routine totally changes? I mean, he's got you doing stuff that, or is trying to do things that y'all have never talked about before, definitely never done before. Would you be suspicious, or would you be glad that he was trying to keep it spicy?
I'm not the type of person to think suspicion automatically just because somebody wants to try something new. Because I'm the type of person who wants to try new things all the time too. So that to me is not suspicious, and I always think it's weird that that's people's first thought. I mean,
A lot of
yeah,
insecurity when there's a lot of insecurity with that.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I remember I had a girlfriend back in college, and it was like early in college too. And she actually didn't go to school with me. So it was kind of like she was my high school girlfriend. And then I went away. So I would come back every few weeks to see her or whatever, or sometimes she would come visit me. And I had literally like read a book or read a magazine or something that really kind of described how you should be doing oral sex, how you should be
Mm,
eating out. And I realized that damn, I've been doing it totally wrong the whole time. So next time I saw her, I was following what I had just learned, right? And she was mind blown, like, damn, like, but then it stopped, and she was just like, wait a minute, where did you learn this from? Who did you learn this from? And stopped mid session to start grilling me about, you've never done this before, and I ain't seen you in such and such weeks, and now you doing this shit. Where did you pick this up at?
hmm
And I was just like, I didn't know what to say. So it was kind of a problem. But yeah.
You could have just told her the truth.
But she wasn't them types. She was that remember we was talking about earlier, I don't know if you saw it, where like the chick tried to run dude over with her car, that toxic.
I saw the video, but I scrolled past. I didn't go into it.
So that was my one case of that toxic love, where the chick trying to run you over with a car and trying to
Mhm.
do shit like that. Like, and when you young, it's kind of fun, because you kind of dumb and you don't realize that. Well, for me, because me, like I like picking at you, right? And getting on your nerves and
Mhm.
shit. So you can imagine if I'm in a relationship and I know I'm getting on your nerves, and then like I'm gonna kind of like grin a little bit, which is gonna piss the chick off more, right? So like I just think it was kind of fun, you know, have a little tussle every now and again.
Okay.
You judging, Tay?
No, I'm just saying that picking fights for no reason, doing stuff like that. That's one of the reasons why I'm not with my first boyfriend. But it's all good.
He used to pick fights.
He liked to argue, and I don't. And so I think people do stuff to try to
Argue or
get.
debate?
For me, a debate is when you have two differing opinions, and you can say, "I agree to disagree," and walk away.
Yeah.
Arguing is no, I need you to agree with my way, or we gonna keep arguing. That was him. I think in his mind he may have thought it was debating, but for me, I'm like, if we don't agree, we just don't agree. It's not that big of a deal. I it was so silly. I remember our first two fights because they were so stupid, and he just wouldn't let them go. So I mean, I think maybe in his mind they were debates, but for me, it was not. And yeah, it got to the point we were arguing every single day, and I was like, yeah, I can't do
Oh
this.
no, we're not doing that. No,
Yeah.
no, no. This thing was with this chick was she was very, very insecure. Um, she was picked on a lot leading into high school, so she had insecurities about that. And then I was in college and she wasn't. So she was very insecure about that. Like, you're going to be with the college girls and I'm just back home. So there was a lot of insecurity there. And then, when you add in like other childhood traumas and shit, she was easily triggered.
Mhm.
And at 18, 19, even 20, you don't know how to deal with that. I mean, I didn't because, I got like a bleeding heart. So I'm like, well, I can just love her through it. Whereas most people be like, man, this motherfucker crazy, you know. Whereas now, 48-year-old Marv, I would probably be like, hey, um, we're gonna be friends. I need you to get help. I can't help you through this, but and I don't think we could be together because I can't help you through this. But yeah, you need to go get help. I probably would be a little bit. I definitely would set my boundaries,
Mhm.
but I would be nice about it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you handle it with old boy?
We're not together anymore.
You broke up with him?
Yeah, I mean that wasn't the only reason, but that was one of the main reasons. Because my thing was I had a friend whose father said, when you first meet somebody, that's the best that person will ever be. Meaning when you first meet somebody, that's their representative. So
Yeah,
they're going to be on their best behavior.
true,
When what
true.
the more you get to know people, then you start seeing their faults. And so you know, and so my thinking was, if we're like this and we're just in a relationship, Brandon, we have been in a relationship for years, but still, we're just in a relationship. I just kept thinking it's going to get worse if we get married.
Yeah, I
Plus,
was so.
he was spoiled. It was like I said, it was a lot of things, but the arguing was the worst part of it.
Hopefully, he don't watch the show.
No, he don't watch the show. He don't even keep up. Yeah, we're not even in touch anymore.
Oh, okay, okay. So what happens if, we talked about somebody flips, but what if they just change physically? Like some shit like they or physically or emotionally or psychologically. If they change the person that you with, they change. How do you handle that? Would that make you consider bouncing? Like the easiest thing to say is like, hey, they gain weight and I'm not as attracted anymore. I think that's people's go to.
Hmm.
But what if like they had a death in the family and they didn't handle it well and it changed how they operated as a person? How would you handle that?
Um, For me, I'm, and I think this might be to my detriment sometimes. I'm a very understanding person. So when people are going through things, I typically am the type to understand, but that understanding can go but so far. Um, I would try to stick it out, especially if we're married. I would try to stick it out as best I can, maybe suggest therapy. If it is a weight thing, maybe we can start working out together. If it's something else, if it's a medical issue, I mean, I could be there to work through that with somebody. It depends on what it is and how long it goes, honestly.
Hmm. Okay. So what if they have something like, and I'm not laughing, I just laugh, but what if they had like something medical happen and the type of sex you can have changes? Like say like they get like an illness and like they get winded real easy, right? Their lungs, why am I laughing? Their lungs aren't as strong. Stop, you made me
I'm
laugh.
not laughing.
And they can't fuck like they used to. Like it's got to be real quick. Is that going to bother you?
Um, as I can work with that if as long as they're willing to help in other ways.
Are you going to cheat?
No, no. If no, I'm not a cheater. I wouldn't do that unless we talked about it and I got permission to go out. Yeah, that's the only way I would do that.
Do you think people can start monogamous and then successfully go into poly? I know I'm all over the place,
I've
but
done that before.
really?
Hmm. I'll say I was in. I had one where we dibbled and dabbled in. extracurricular stuff. But I would say I was in one. I won't say it was poly, but it was open. So we went from monogamy to
Open.
yeah. So and it was fine. And for me it was good because that was I say the second, because my first relationship was pretty honest, but he was the most honest relationship I've ever been in. And for me, emotionally, that felt safe for me. As long as I know what's going on, I can handle anything.
I think sometimes people switch from monogamy to poly or open because they feel like it's going to save the relationship.
That's the worst thing.
And it does not.
That's the worst thing you can do.
I don't know about the worst, but it just
because
it just don't fix it. Just doesn't. It's not a fix.
It doesn't fix it. Plus, if you're having problems in your relationship, usually trying to do things like that, or like when people have kids to try to fix a relationship, usually that just makes whatever the issue is, that just makes it bigger.
See, that's what I would think, like getting a tattoo or having a kid is worse than opening your relationship. No, that's the worst.
Get a tattoo?
Yeah, because then the shit don't work. Now you got a fucking motherfucker's name.
Oh, tattoo of that person.
Yeah. You got some dumb shit like that on you, and now you got to deal with it. So, but yeah, I when you're talking about poly, then we'll go back to like things changing. I think it's just best to start off that way. It's best if you're gonna, because like when you change midstream, like there's always going to be the question of why. Like, what am I, how am I deficient? Why do you feel like you need to add somebody else to your life? But if you go into the relationship saying, hey, this is how I view relationships, um, this is how I see you in my life, but understand that I also look at things this way. I think it's a lot better because like how you set the tone going in, it's a lot easier to maintain than trying to change it midstream.
Depends on the people and communication. Communication can answer all of those issues. When we were in life back in the day, we met a couple and they had been together since high school. They were the only ones that each other knew, and the guy wanted to open it up. And the woman, she admitted that she felt inadequate. She didn't think he loved her anymore. They talked about it. And this was when we met them, this was before they got married. They're married now, 2 kids, still going on, still strong. Like, I mean, it depends on the people. It's all communication, constructive communication, not just talking about stuff, but actually communicating in a way that gets people to open up freely, honestly, and just help the person see that it's not always an inadequacy thing.
Would you believe that even a person that runs their mouth all the time like me at times can be a poor communicator?
Yes. Yes, I've experienced it. So yes, I do know that. That's why I said effective communication, because just communicating means nothing. It has to be effective.
You had to say it like that, Tay. You had to say it like that. No, but I find like for me, I feel like I'm an open book, but sometimes when you're an over talker like I am, like I say shit and I'm just thinking out loud. It's kind of like how like people brainstorm and they like write shit on the whiteboard. Sometimes I'm communicating in that way because I'm thinking about, okay, this is what's on my mind. But I may not necessarily want to go forward with that. And part of about being a good communicator is being accountable for what you say. Right. So I've learned over the years to really, be careful. And what I do is I put a disclaimer out there, and I tell people all the time, like, now listen, I put my foot in my mouth all the time, but just know that I'm not coming from a bad place. And I'm not a person that is above being, I don't want to say corrected because I ain't no punk bitch, but I'm not a person that's not willing to entertain other perspectives. You know, 'cause you do it all the time. Like I'll say some shit and you be like, not really. And then you'll come with something. And I wanna be like, man, fuck you, Tay. But then I'll be like, but she is right though. But she is right. But yeah, no, I think for me, physical stuff like what the music say, don't change. I
Hmm.
don't care if you gain a little weight, you know, I don't care if you turn gray. Like, I'm not gonna switch up on you because of that. Because I mean, I've done stuff. I've gone up and down in weight, you know. Obviously, I didn't got gray and I hate the shit. But like I would want somebody to accept me. And I think that's cruel because somebody changes physically or because something devastating happened to them. Now, if I feel it's something that we need to address because I want you to be healthy or because like your mental state isn't impacting me, then I'll have that conversation with you.
Hmm.
But my biggest piece is people change as as they grow and develop. And some people change for the better, and some people change for the worse. And I've been in relationships where people become a lot more mean and they're just like, well, I'm just, you know, I'm at a stage in my life, I'm just gonna say what I want to say. And I used to be like that type of person when I was young, but then somebody I can't remember who it was told me, said, you ain't got to say everything that comes to your goddamn mind,
Hmm.
right? Or if you say it, you don't have to say it in the way that you think it. Sometimes you might need to put a little sugar on top to get
Hmm.
your message across. So if your personality changes for the worse, which can happen, then
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna want to bounce.
Yeah. Honesty without compassion is cruelty. That's the phrase I've been hearing a lot these past few years. Um, so, but yeah, that's what I when you talk about like somebody emotionally or mentally changing, if I feel like I'm in a place where now I feel like I'm being abused by people's words, or they're holding me hostage in a way with their emotions, I don't know how long I could deal with that. But anything else, I do believe I could deal with it. I wouldn't want to be somebody's caretaker, and that's only because at this point I'm cared for two, now one. And it's a lot of work, but I would do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that caretaking is, thing about caretaking is it's easy to neglect yourself when you're taking care of somebody else.
Hmm.
So the caretaker needs caretaking also.
True.
So yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Cause like I don't know about you, I lost. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that with my pops, but with my mom, I lost her like abruptly. But pee and shit and wiping asses. Like, that's gonna be a tough one for me.
It is. And I'm not a nurse, so like
Yeah,
because of the caretaking that I did for my grandfather, doing now for my grandmother, my mother and my aunts have been like, "You should be a nurse." No, I'm doing this because I love them.
yeah, yeah,
I could not do this for just
yeah,
random people.
yeah,
But it is tough, but I mean, you do what you have to do for the people you love.
yeah. Because you want them to be able to live the later stages of their lives with dignity, right?
Hmm.
I
And
was told
not in
my,
a home where you don't know what's being done to them.
I told my kids, put me in a home, put me in a home, even though those homes are terrible, but put me in a home, uh, and then make sure y'all come have lunch or dinner with me twice a week.
More than that.
You know why I say twice a week though, right?
Wow.
So the people won't beat you up because they
That's
do
that,
that.
and that's why I say more than that
Because
because
if they know somebody gonna show up, right? If they know
exactly.
somebody gonna show up, that's why I said twice a week. If they know
And
somebody gonna show up
unannounced.
and be like, "Where his clothes at? Why he got a bruise on his head?" and you know what I say. I'm gonna be a dirty old man till I'm a dead old man. So I'm gonna be in that motherfucker saying inappropriate shit. So they may try to beat me up, but if I know my kids is gonna come, or at least
Yeah.
a friend or something, then they ain't gonna beat you up. But if they know ain't nobody coming, they gonna steal your shit. They gonna beat you up. Hell no.
And tell them don't do it on schedule because when they know you're coming, they're on their best behavior. And I know because we had to put one of my great uncles in a nursing home, so that's how I can speak from both sides of it.
They was beating up on them.
No, they weren't beating up on it, but we could tell the people who were there who didn't have people coming to see them and the people who did. It was obvious.
Yeah.
And my uncle was there for some years, so there was a time where, because when he first got in there, everybody was going all the time. Like I think maybe he might have one day out the week where nobody came, and then it was a time where it slowed up for everybody.
Mhm.
And remember one time we went up there to pick him up, and my aunt was saying, "Oh no, he had to be taken to a regular hospital or something. He had to get done,
Mhm.
and his feet were dirty.
Mm.
Like, why? These people are supposed to be taking care of you. Why are your feet dirty? You
Yeah.
know." So it's like you have to go up there regularly, but not on schedule. It need to be. They don't know when you're coming, and when.
Yeah. Surprise check.
Exactly, exactly.
Surprise, surprise. Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. But yeah, nah, that bodily fluids, yeah, that's why when we talk about those kink tests and shit, that's why I'm probably gonna always be considered vanilla because I can't. I might be able to do like the urine thing, like if we in the shower or something, that I might be able to freak with that, but like you like feces and stuff, nah, nah, I can't do it. What's the weirdest thing that happened to you in bed? We probably talked about this, but what's the weirdest request? What's the weirdest request that somebody?
Weirdest request. Okay, there was one that was weird to me when I was younger, but I don't really consider it weird anymore, only because I know people in the BDSM lifestyle, so I've learned a little bit more. There's another one that happened to me that's still weird to me, but I'll get to the first one first. So this guy wanted me to bite him.
Mm,
Okay, I'm a pleaser. It's not hurting me. I'll do it, sure. But he kept telling me to bite him harder. So I was like, "What?" And he just kept saying, "Harder, harder." You know, I bit him so hard, I drew blood one time,
mm.
and then left a whole bunch of marks on him because he wanted me to bite him that hard. It was weird to me back then. And that was the last time that we
So,
were together because back then it was too weird for me.
so if you met him now and he checked all the boxes for relationship, could you fuck with it?
Uh, I don't know. If as an ongoing thing, I don't think I could. If he wanted it like every now and then, I could. But if he wanted it like every single time, I don't know. I don't know. You have to be a hell of a man in every other way.
Yeah, I had a that chick I talked about earlier. She, ugh, God, she was so toxic. She had grape fantasies.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and
I get what you're saying.
yeah, hell no, girl. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Because my thing is, what if my fool ass does that and then all you gotta do is say, I didn't really mean it. Next thing you know, I'm doing, 5 to 10 because I
Yeah.
didn't listen. My stupid ass didn't listen to you tell me that. Listen, let's try this. Um, she also like there's some what do they call it? Sadomasochism, like when you like spanking and paddling and all that stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
she wanted to be Ike Turner. Like I'm telling you, this girl has some deep shit going on. So
Yeah.
she wanted the Ike Turner treatment, and I'm just like, nah, I'm not doing that. And my young fool ass trying to love her through her stuff, she would try to say stuff to incite me, like try to like insult me. And then one time she tried to talk about my mom and crazy shit, and that's when I was like, nah, I can't do this. I can't
Yeah.
do this because this girl want me to jump on her, and no, I'm not doing that. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So that's probably the weirdest. Like
Okay.
great fantasies. I don't know, man. I can't. That's no.
Yeah. It's I've had that fantasy. And it was fulfilled, but it was fulfilled with somebody that I was in a long-term committed relationship. When I experiment, it's only within a relationship. I've never done experimentation with somebody. I'm just saying, and I trusted him, so it was a little different.
Did y'all sign any papers?
No,
You gonna have to
we
you gonna have to
didn't
text
sign
you gonna have to
anything.
text me And not on Facebook Messenger, you know, motherfuckers be deleting shit on Facebook Messenger.
And it wasn't like we didn't set it up in like a role play thing where like I thought he was coming, I thought I was by myself and he surprised me, blah blah blah. No, it wasn't like
He
that.
broke into the. Wait a minute, wait. That I'm not gonna laugh about that because that's insensitive.
Yes.
Okay, that's your fault. That's your fault. That's not. There's nothing funny about. Because I was about to make a joke about the shit.
No, don't make no jokes.
No,
No.
but I wasn't making a joke about that. I was making a joke about y'all setting up y'all situation. I was gonna be like, did he hide like on the patio and then like break in or some shit? But that could be traumatizing to people.
Yeah, no. And to be honest, it wasn't anything like that. What we did mostly was it was like me trying to get away from him and him not letting me. That's how we set it up. It wasn't like because I've heard of people doing role play where they're just in the house and the guy just comes in. I've heard of that being set up that way. I would freak out if that was to happen. I would freak out. Yeah.
Because this is my thing. This is my thing. You've heard of how like people say like, I got with somebody and they unlocked this freak quotient in me. Like I didn't know that I would like this, and then they gave me this. Like if I was able to put my mind into a place where I could be like, you know what? Even though she's resisting, I'm gonna still keep going. My mind won't even fucking function like that.
Yeah, I get it.
And then what if I do, and then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh shit, I kind of like that shit. And then she don't want to fuck me no more. And then now I'm out here taking penitentiary chances.
I get that. And I will say that fulfilling that fantasy took me out of, I don't want that fantasy ever again. Like yeah. And then, like I said, he was somebody that I was in a relationship with, so I knew that I was, and we were headed towards the altar, so I knew I was safe. But the feeling that I had within that situation is not something like that took me out of having that fantasy ever again. Like that's not something I ever want to experience in a real life situation. So it like it's not something that I would ever want to experience again.
Did you have a safe word?
No, because back then, this was before, safe words didn't become a popular thing till Kevin Hart came out. This was way before.
White folks had safe words. Black people didn't know about it.
Exactly. So this is before then. But no, I know if I had said I don't want to, he would have stopped. I trusted him. Again, we were headed towards the altar. I would not have tried that with somebody that I was just dating, or that's not. But let me tell you the other situation. It was, and this wasn't something traumatic, but it was just weird to me. So I was with this guy, and he told me that in order for him to ejaculate, he had to play in my hair. Like that was his kink. And to me, that was weird. And it's still weird to me because I'm like, why? I don't know. I don't know. It was just weird to me. Again, I was young, but it was weird to me.
Where the fuck you getting these these dudes from? These kinks. Hey man, listen, get it how you live, bro. But I think like the weirdest thing that happened, and maybe you can explain this, because I think they tried to explain it to me, but I just didn't get it. She started crying. Like, and not like tears of joy. She started like boo-hooing, sobbing. And I'm like, yo, whoa, what the fuck? She was like, no, keep going. It's good. And I'm like, and I don't know. So have you ever cried on the dick, Tay?
No, but well, I'll say before my father passed, I'm not typically a crier. So I don't, so I've never done that, but I do have friends who have said that they've done that. I don't know why, but
They didn't explain to you what made them cry?
no. They just said that was the emotion they were feeling at the time.
Mm. Are they criers in like real life?
Yeah.
Then that explains it. So
I think majority of women are, but I don't know if majority of women cry during sex though. Majority of women are criers. I don't think majority of women cry during sex. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean,
I know most of the women I know
but
cry, which is why a lot of my female friends, a lot of female family members want to say I'm cold or want to say I act like a man because I don't cry. And it's neither of those are true. I'm not cold and I don't act like a man. I act like myself. I'm just not a crier. And I do have emotions. I just don't show them all the time outwardly like most people. That's a sore subject with me. I'm sorry.
it can be disarming though. When I mean, I know you, and yeah, I would assume your friends and family know you too, but I don't assume the worst when you don't respond in an emotional way because I know that you're not an emotional person. But I don't automatically go to that you just don't care. I just think you just it don't land on you like it lands on like I'm excitable.
Hmm.
Like you say the shit to me, I'm like, what, motherfucker, what? you know, and sometimes I hate the shit, right? Because it could be a weakness.
Hmm.
Like I don't have a poker face. Like you should go into like playing like the World Series of Poker because you gotta like like when you smile and you laugh, right? But if you want to just sit there and just be whatever, like you good with that shit. But it can. I'm sure that people ask for reassurance a lot from you.
Yeah.
Does that get on your nerves?
Yeah.
Well,
Especially when I think the person knows me.
yeah, but I get so somebody with an anxious attachment style, there's no way they can make it with you then.
I've been with people who have anxious, now that I know what they are. And
Yeah,
it's annoying. It's so annoying, but it is what it is.
but they just want to know that you love them.
Right, which is why I think we talked about this in previous episode where I said that was one of the ways like I've been in relationships where people thought I was nonchalant because I don't express things um like I guess like most people, I guess.
Hmm.
So in my especially my last two relationships, uh I've been working on that more. That's something I've been, earnestly working on is making sure that I let the person I'm with know, hey, I love you, saying it more than would be normal for me. Because I'm not someone who has to hear it every day. So I'm not someone who's going to say it every day. But intentional, that's the word I'm looking for. I've been more intentional in showing it lately.
It's hard though when it's not how you're wired.
It
When,
can be, but
when it's
once you do something, you can get used to it.
yeah, yeah, I get it. All right, so I got a would you or wouldn't you? You
Okay.
ready for it?
Yep.
Okay, so we kind of talked about weird requests, weird things. So if you met a guy and he checked off every single box, right? But he had a kink, and the kink, in your opinion, was downright fucking weird. Now, it ain't got nothing to do with no kids or no dead bodies, no shit, but it's weird. Would you or wouldn't you stay?
It depends on what it is. Um, it depends on if it makes me uncomfortable. Because if something makes me uncomfortable, I'm not I'm not in a place where I'm gonna agree to that. The only way I'll do stuff that is not my thing is if it's not going to make me uncomfortable. So it depends on what the kink is. But if it's something that, like I said, the biting, that's not my thing. But if the person, again, he would have to be a hell of a guy.
Well, based off the question, he is.
Right.
He checks every box.
Then I could deal with that.
Okay. Uh, I agree with you. I definitely would have to. Yeah, because if you're doing something that's out of your character, and I don't know why you would want somebody to do something like that if they're not like comfortable with it. Because to me, what makes sex good is when like we're in sync. We're in sync with what we do. I don't have to feel um what's what I'm looking for? Self-conscious.
Hmm.
I can just be free and not worry about judgment or not worry about making you uncomfortable. To me, that's when things are at their best. So if it didn't, I'm gonna say what you said. If it didn't make me uncomfortable, or if I felt I could be my authentic self and
Hmm.
still do it, we can rock with it.
Yeah.
But no grape shit. We,
I
we,
get that. I get
we're
it.
never doing that. Never, ever, ever, ever. Unless we got like, unless you put me in your rich grandfather's inheritance, and we got multiple like paperwork signed, so you don't try to come back and you know do me like Cassie did Puff.
Let's see. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
I'm gonna edit that out. I'm gonna edit that out. But you know where I was going with that, right?
Yes, I get it.
But there's gonna be some motherfuckers gonna be like, nah, that ain't cool. But anyway, tell me where they can find us.
You can find us at ConVersate After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD the podcast at gmail.com. And make sure you like this video, share it, subscribe, and leave us a comment. Tell us what your weirdest request was.
Yep, make sure you do that and let me know if you need some help with that. You know what I'm saying? I will travel for a fee. And go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com, and let's talk past episodes. We'll have you next time. Peace.
Bye.